Welcome to the We Can Do It Women show, and I'm your host, Debra Morrison. And with me today, I am pleased to have Sherri L. Combs. Sherri is the CEO of Silver Streak Senior Services and the founder of Silver Streak Senior Solutions, a not-for-profit dedicated to protecting and empowering seniors. Wow, do we need that? Former top-performing private banker Sherri now leads a national movement focused on verifying resources, transparency, and dignity in aging. She's the best-selling author of the Just in Case Plan, helping families prepare with clarity and confidence. Sherri, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
I'm pleased indeed. And so in a few sentences, talk to us about your history. You were a storied and successful woman in finance, and then you transitioned into Silver Streak. How did that happen?
Yeah. So I started in my journey in finance and helping families in the 90s with building mortgage companies inside real estate offices. Kind of pioneered that model, really. And then I transitioned into private banking and wealth management, and I really loved it. And a lot of my clients were seniors, and I loved them. I loved spending time with them. I loved the wisdom that they were kind enough to share with me, some of the mentoring that I received. Some of my favorite people in the world and favorite memories are the times that I spent with seniors, people older than me, taking an interest. And I truly treasured that and valued that. But what I saw on a daily basis broke my heart. I saw people every single day lose their life savings, lose tens of thousands of dollars to scams. I saw families break apart under the weight of not having a plan when life took a turn, maybe a broken hip or a stroke or some kind of medical emergency, or the aging process itself would start to creep in, and some of that autonomy and independence was lacking, and families without a plan just buckled under the weight. And I saw good people turn the crisis into chaos, and it just broke my heart. And I knew there was a better way. I helped hundreds of families and individuals navigate and broker peace in families. They were, so I became a senior advocate, and I love that. I love that role.
Wow. You are right about having a plan versus not having a plan. This is so critical. And I want us to delve into your book, Just in Case Plan, because it's about the preparation that really foretells what the future could hold for us. So why wouldn't we be prepared? So talk to us about how we can do that best.
Yeah, so the book itself starts out with the realities of where we're at, what's coming, what we may have thought would be there for us, and what might not be, the realities of just the world we're living in. And then I would take them into what I saw every day in banking with people coming in, and they had money, and they had trusts, and they had wills. And a lot of them that were trying to avoid probate ended up in there anyway because of a poorly executed trust. I think the number one thing I can tell people is your attorney is not usually the one who executes your paperwork. It is your family that does. They need to know what's in that trust. It is your bank. It is your CPA. It is your wealth advisor. It is your insurance company. They need to see these things before they're needed to make sure there isn't a sentence in there or something in there that would negate them from being able to execute it properly, which would send your family right back into probate. I saw it every day. So that's in the book, the common things that I saw. And in the heart of the book, it's the family conversations, having that plan.
Isn't that critical?
It is so critical. It is so critical. And how do you start that conversation? Nobody wants to talk about that. Aging is, that kind of a slow unraveling of an independence. And none of us, I don't care what age we are, nobody really wants to face that. So we often avoid having that conversation and play ostrich. But really, no parent, and I know this as a mom, no parent wants to leave behind the legacy that our children no longer speak to each other, or they ended up, paying thousands of dollars in taxes and attorneys and court fees when they didn't have to. So really, we need to, when the book helps give you that conversation and guide you through that, it helps you have empathy for each side, and it's designed to meet you exactly where you're at. And so as a parent, you understand exactly what you're truly leaving behind if you play ostrich. And as a child, you come to your parents with dignified, not over parenting or a diminishing, placating them in a way, it's very respectful, and it gives you the language, and it gives you the ability to see things through the other person's eyes on both sides, so that hopefully there's a meeting of minds.
Well, this is so critical, and the dignity piece is such critical linchpin, because we are talking about our beloveds. We are talking about people who raised us in many cases. And so to give us the language, I think, is going to be a terrific help. And you're restoring the dignity and value overall, Sherri, in aging with the Silver Streak. Remind ourselves, the aging people are the lucky ones.
Yes.
So let's treat the aged with respect. How do we do it?
Yeah. So the first thing that we do is we don't want to overparent them. We don't want to, just because they are diminishing in age and may not be able to carry out some of the things through strength or a little bit slower. We want to see the beauty in that. And so the book really helps us to remind us about the beauty in that. They bring so much more to the table now, and we sometimes have to just slow down and remember to enjoy that. So the lesson that we get from spending time with our loved ones who are older, the lesson they can impart to us is that they've been through these storms. We can't Google the lessons they've lived. Right? We can't see that history that they've lived. We are standing on the backs of what they built, the marches that they've marched, the freedoms that we have, the roads that are paved that they built. We're able to project forward even more because they laid that foundation, and there's honor and dignity in that. They can inject kindness and patience in a world that's starving for it, because they can slow down long enough to take notice and to see. So they infuse something very valuable back into our world. And we need to remember and respect that. And then how do we give them the dignity of aging in place and help stretch out their autonomy and their independence for as long as possible? And that's why I created Silver Streak Senior Services, so that they had a safe place to get the help they need to stay as independent and safely with dignity as long as possible.
And you said something very profound in our first interview, and that is people that are worthy providers, service providers, are really hard to find, where all the scammers are right out there in full view. And so how does Silver Streak help seniors and their families navigate this minefield?
Yeah, it's interesting. Scams are a $50 billion a year business with a B. Yeah, it's crazy. And most of that leaves and goes off to other countries. Most of that does. And so it's never circulated back into the economy. And one of the interesting things about these scams that people don't realize is sometimes we tend to think, well, that was somebody else's grandmother, right? And well, when somebody else's grandmother is scammed, the system has to absorb the cost for the care, for the health care, and the families absorb it, the grandchildren absorb it, the communities absorb that. So it does affect all of us. It means that some of those benefits have to come down, and some of those costs in our taxes have to rise up to meet the demand, because people who saved all their lives to be able to care for themselves in their aging are now ripped off, scammed. So it does affect all of us, whether we want to realize it or not. And it happens in the blink of an eye. And I like to call this generation the handshake generation. They come from a time where you didn't have to look at everybody through a suspicious eye, right? And so we need to harden the target around them. And that's what Silver Streak Senior Services does. It hardens the target. I also worked with a lot of business owners, great people, and they were hard to find because it's very expensive and it's very difficult for a business owner, small business owner, especially doing good work in their community, to market themselves business to consumer. Business to business, they create silos, but business to consumer, very expensive to do.
You've nailed it. And I want to come right back and spend more time on it, but we've got to take a quick station break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Let me introduce you to Debra Morrison. If you're a woman who thinks her best years are behind her, we're here to tell you your best chapter is just beginning. Join the We Can Do It Winning Facebook group. It's more than a community, it's a revolution. Reclaim your dreams, master your finances, and unleash your potential. We're just getting started. Join now, and let's make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. We can do it, women. Join us today.
We're with Sherri Combs today, who is the CEO of Silver Streak Senior Services, and she's talking with us about the real cost of scams. We think, oh, that's somebody else's issue until it's your issue, right? And even until it's personal to you, this is some affectation, not just one person, one family, but communities and taxpayers in our society. So talk to us about the sophistication of the scams and how Silver Streak Services, Senior Services, Sherri, is helping seniors avoid that kind of trap and scam.
Yeah, these scammers are very sophisticated, especially with the AI tools that we have today. They are able to mimic the sounds of your children, grandchildren. Their voices. They call up. They know exactly what the bank sounds like and all the verbiage they use. They're able to spoof numbers to make it look like the call is coming from a bank as opposed to where it's really coming from. So detecting and avoiding these is really, really becoming more difficult. And I'm catching younger and younger people that are falling prey to these scams all the time. And they're like, I almost fell for one the other day. Or people say, I got scammed once from this and that. So it's happening not just to seniors anymore because of the sophistication. An interesting fact about this is that the FBI really only takes a report if the scam is at $100,000 or more. And so most of these scams go unreported.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Oh, that's so critical. So talk to us about the fact that, and the struggle that seniors have. I mean, they're sometimes lonely and the phone rings and they want to pick up and have a conversation like in the old days, right? And so we want to pick up the phone and be conversational. And yet the caution can't be high enough to, no.
Yeah, they'll befriend you and then they'll create that sense of urgency and then you feel rude hanging up on them. And that's the problem. It's a polite society. And especially the older we get, we become a little more polite, right? Exactly. And that's beauty in that. And they exploit that. And it's criminal, really, was what it is, but they are very good at it. And so we have to give ourselves permission to be rude. We actually started a Facebook group called Don't Fall For It, Silver Streak It. And I post all the scams that I come across, and I get those things daily, the URLs, what they look for. We're reminding people. We have a phrase, say, silver streak it, which is pause, verify. And we teach them how to verify. And if they're still not sure, or it's hitting the other red flags, then we say, just reach out maybe to somebody else first and delete it. A rule of thumb too is to always just say, I will call you back, and call back the number that's on your card. Or call back from the number on your statement. Don't call back from the number they called from on the phone. That's a really good tip.
That is so good. Now, you have a directory of 130 categories of service providers that you're vetting. How impressive. And how did you get up to 130 categories?
Yeah. So I thought about the categories that most people need the most, especially as seniors. And then we started partnering with businesses in different communities. And some of those are nationwide, and some of them are products, some of them are services, because when you're involved, we know that aging in place is going to be the norm. We know that that's going to be what we're going to be facing in the very near future for decades. And so how do we help people extend their independence in their home for as long as possible? By creating a safe place. Right now, when you look for somebody in a search directory, it's dominated, it's gamed, it's skewed. You can't even type in Social Security and get the number to come up. It's 12 other businesses you have to sift through first before you can find it. And I wanted something that was safe so that hardened the target. So what we do is we reach out to business owners and we check their reputation. We do a background check across every county or city in the United States. We verify their licenses and their insurance, and then we provide you access to them. So we're doing all the verification that you don't have time to do and that you wish people would do, so that way, by the time they're on our site, it takes 7 to 10 days for them to go through the process. It's very thorough. Then we put them on the site and allow you to have access to them, so that you know that whoever you're bringing into your home or into your life is somebody that's not padding the invoice. They're not looking to take advantage of seniors or anybody else. And if you're in another state and not close to your parent, or a couple hours away, you don't have to say, don't hire anybody, wait till I get there. I'll be there on Saturday and it's Tuesday. And now your mom is sitting on her hands waiting for you to have time to show up to help her hook up her printer, when you can go on to our site, put in her zip code and find somebody in her area and have peace of mind that you didn't just send a felon to her house by accident.
Well, this is so critical, Sherri, because so many of life's transitions, and you're really an expert in dealing and helping aging people and their families move through various transitions. And one of them is aging, and the other is able-bodiedness and so forth, and acuity, mental acuity, and so forth. And so these are sometimes they're sudden, like a stroke or something, heart attack, and boom, a person's in a completely different place in a matter of seconds. And then sometimes it's a gradation process. So I really am inviting all of us, people in our 40s, 50s, 60s that may have older people in our family, to get in touch with Silver Streak Senior Services, get on the website and poke around in the categories, because it's in that time of emergency that you have no time to do your due diligence. And that's where Silver Streak has done the pave work. They have paved the road for you to take advantage of it. So make yourself available to that website. And what is that website?
It is silverstreakseniorservices.com.
Excellent. So you are in the movement business, Sherri. You are not just a business. Talk to us.
Yeah, that's true. It is really about awareness, and awareness on scams, awareness on how seniors really truly feel and want to be treated. It's about preserving their dignity and safety, their confidence in aging. Nobody deserves to feel that they're not useful anymore, or that they're a burden on society or a burden on their families. Pardon me. And we don't want people to feel that way. We don't want seniors to feel that way. They've lived a life, they've contributed, and they should be seen, respected, feel safe, and feel dignified. It says a lot about societies that do that to their seniors, that honor that. And really, it's a matter of what we're all aging into, right? And so we do well as a younger generation to accept and to embrace an older generation, because that will all be us, whether we want it or not. That's coming for all of us. I gave a speech once at the United Nations, and I really centered it around, it took a village. There's this famous phrase that said, it took a village to raise our children, right? Well, now that same village that was raised by them, they need to circle around them and protect them.
Well, this not-for-profit reinvests every membership dollar to help low-income seniors with critical needs. Talk to us about how you got that idea, because it's so profound and so generous.
Yeah, I actually opened the nonprofit first, which is Silver Streak Senior Solutions. And that is 501c3. It is a public charity. It accepts donations independently, and we do fundraisers. But everybody who joins the Silver Streak site, that is their 100% of their money is donated to that cause. And that helps seniors that are aging in place, that can't afford modifications or repairs on their homes, to be able to live in them safely and with dignity. They should be able to have access. They should be able to have grab bars in their showers. They should have a thermostat that works. They should not have to sit with a leaky roof because they can't afford the deductible. They should not have to drive around with bald tires. So those are things, if they meet that criteria, wealth should not be a barrier to safety. And unfortunately, there's nobody really filling that particular gap. So that's the gap I decided to fill. We do have a lot of great, wonderful, amazing charities, and you can find them on Silver Streak Senior Services too. We really created it to be a one-stop shop. So on one side, you can put in your county and find all the charities that serve your county. And on the other side, it's gated. That's where your membership comes in. You can find all your businesses that serve you. And the reason why that's gated and requires membership is we wanted to keep out bots and scammers. And I always say that they will take your last dollar, but they won't pay one. So when senior only has to pay $1 to join for life, because we don't want any barrier to keep them from joining. And then we donate that back into the community and serve seniors with that.
We're going to take a quick station break, and we'll be right back to wrap this up with how you can get involved and benefit by Silver Streak Senior Services and give something back to Silver Streak Senior Services. We'll be right back.
Let me introduce you to Debra Morrison. If you're a woman who thinks her best years are behind her, we're here to tell you your best chapter is just beginning. Join the We Can Do It Winning Facebook group. It's more than a community, it's a revolution. Reclaim your dreams, master your finances, and unleash your potential. We're just getting started. Join now and let's make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. We can do it, women. Join us today.
We're back with Sherri Combs, who is the CEO of Silver Streak Senior Services, and we've been having a good conversation about the aging process and how she has morphed from a successful banking career into being of assistance to our aging population and the families that support them. And particularly, you mentioned something earlier, Sherri, about if you're not in the same vicinity as your loved one for whom you may end up caregiving. These kind of services at Silver Streak Senior Services are particularly when families are not geographically central anymore as much as they used to be. Silver Streak Senior Services is a particular help to families where the kids or anyone caregiving them is not in the community. So talk to us about how you get introduced to people and how we can spread the word about this valuable resource.
Yeah, I really appreciate that because it is a valuable resource. It's designed to make the life of the caregiver easier, right? And have those trusted resources as well as the senior. The senior can use those resources for as long as possible. Then they extend their independence and their autonomy up until, and when that shifts more to the family responsibility, like you said, families no longer always live in the same cities, right? But sometimes now maybe it's time to move closer. There are specialists out there, they're all over our site that really help the whole family with those moves or with those crises to keep them from turning into chaos, and people that can help you navigate them. So anybody that wants to get in touch with us, if they go to Silver Streak Senior Services, our contact information is at the bottom. If they want to be a vendor, they can, they have at the top, it says advertise with us, and they can go in there and read all about what that looks like. We kept it extremely affordable because we want you to be found. We want to highlight the good guys in the community. We actually do a Zoom interview with you as well. So if you're not local, because we want to talk to you about your qualifications and your heart for helping seniors in the community or helping families in the community and what you can bring to them. So it's not a site necessarily for everybody, but we want you to be found. We want to make it easy for you to be found. And we collectively pull all your advertising dollars and actually help you market business to consumer. We get you in front of the audience you're trying to get in front of. So oftentimes businesses market in silos with each other entrepreneurs, other business groups, and hope that when they all meet somebody out in the public, they might help them. We actually will market you into the public, and it's very affordable for you to be found that way. So we're partnering with you, and it's reciprocal. You're helping us grow, we're helping you grow. And that's what we're looking for, is reciprocal partners who want to be part of a movement that means something, who want to stand up and harden the target around seniors, who believe in the cause, believe in the movement, and really want to be highlighted as one of those good guys and be found. And if you're a family member, now is a great time to get in on our founding member prices, which are phenomenal. Our aim is to keep them low forever if we can, and bring more and more services. So watching this grow and growing with us, and certainly referring to us people that you think belong on the site that other seniors can benefit from, and leaving reviews on the site that people can trust. That's why we charge the membership, because all the reviews can only be left by members. An owner can't even leave their own review. It has to be by the members. And so being on there and letting other people know how wonderful your roofer is, your plumber is, your electrician, your handyman, your housekeeper, your caregiver, letting people know how amazing they are helps them grow beyond just you. And it also helps other seniors to also maintain their independence and their safety, right? We all need that right now because we don't know who to trust. You really cannot tell the difference on any other site. And another beautiful thing is we are committed to, our model is to not sell your information as leads. So when you're looking for a plumber and you see the plumbers on our site, it's only, and you say, yes, I want somebody to call me, it's only the plumber you were looking at that will call you, not we're going to now sell it to 14 different plumbers and have you bombarded with phone calls and you don't even know if those are the same plumbers that we are sending or if it's a scam. So we wanted to make sure there was no question about who you were dealing with, and you are just we don't inundate you like that. It's irritating. We all get irritated by that. Constant emails that come in 4 times a day, or junking up your mailbox, or this constant, phone call after phone call because your leads have been sold. We are not doing any of that.
No. Well, this is a trusted ecosystem, and I am so enthralled with it because, I have a man that's in my community, and he's got to be 80 if he's single, and he comes over and deals with my electric because he's an electrician. And so it's not just for the end user, the aged people that are end using, it's for the people that are still very viable and practitioners who can be introduced to Silver Streak, get themselves vetted, and get onto this referral system, because this interweaving of helping each other, especially in a time when there's a lot of loneliness, is so rich. It carries with it so many rewards. And that is what gives the community's vibrancy. And it doesn't take them down the scam and the, being abused route, which is just so, it's prolific. Yeah. Sherri, you have outlined such excellent points about Silver Streak Senior Services. What can our viewers take away from this interview and where they're going in their future with your services?
Yeah. So if they, the book is available on Amazon, and if they go to the justincaseplan.com, they can download the free workbook for that. Now, the workbook is in the book, but plans change and they evolve. And sometimes you want everybody in the family to have a copy of the workbook so that they can all put down what they think, and family meetings need to occur before, not after. But even if you're in the middle of the crisis, the book really can help. The workbook can really help. So my gift to your audience today is to go and download that workbook for free at the justincaseplan.com, and they can start planning for their future now. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It's such a great series of questions to have with the person for whom you are caring as they age. So the final message that you want viewers to take from our rich time today is?
Well, that, really crisis can turn into chaos, or you can turn it into calm. And it's all about having a plan. Businesses have plans. Families need to have plans. We often plan for what happens after we die, but we don't like to talk about what happens before we die and leading up to that. And even if you think, well, I have a long-term care plan policy, right? Your family is the one who has to execute that. So don't keep them in the dark. Bring them into the plan, have the conversations, and don't be afraid of those. But setting the boundaries about what is acceptable and is not acceptable in those conversations is perfectly okay. And we talk about that in the book. So it's important maybe that everybody get a copy of the book so we're all on the same page and we're treating each other with the dignity and the respect that everybody's accorded in the role that they play. And if you are a senior and you're feeling invisible, maybe for the first time in your life, because you went from life changes, it transitioned from being very busy to being a little slower now, right? And everything's moving so fast. I know it is for me too. Nice. There's a special section in the book just for you in the back. It starts on page 120, and for caregivers on page 124.
To slow down.
Yeah. And that you are seen, you matter, you are so valuable. And what you're doing, if you're a caregiver, is a sacred work. Burnout can be real, and don't feel guilty about taking time for yourself. And if you're a senior, the value you bring to society is there. It might not feel the same in your family anymore because maybe all the grandchildren are older and you are not as connected as you used to be. I have that too. My grandkids are all older now, and I'm like, they don't need me as much anymore. But there's society, your neighbors, the people in the grocery, you notice things, and you can be that kindness in a world that is starving for it just by being you, just by being present, just by slowing down and taking notice of what's going on around you. And the world needs that. They need you. We need you to show us what it's like to age with dignity and grace.
Well, I couldn't be more grateful that you have found this in your calling and given us a really self-help group access to your network. And these trusted businesses and providers are going to just expand, I'm sure, from 130 categories to many, many more. And you can help Sherri and her staff build these categories and this directory with your recommendations. Get involved, support the work of Sherri Combs and Silver Streak Senior Services. And that's a wrap. And we welcome you to join us at the We Can Do It Women show.